So, thought you could sneak up on me, did you? Relax, I'm just giving your chain a yank. Here, the next round's on me. That does remind me, though. I've been meaning to do some talking about a key component of adventuring life that doesn't get too much time in the spotlight. It only seems to come up when someone's getting ambushed. Still, if you're going to set out on the trail of fortune, you better be familiar with the double-edged sword of the surprise round. Let's begin at the beginning, shall we? Sometimes you know when a fight is coming. Maybe somebody calls you out, throws down a gauntlet, and then steps into the street so you can settle your issues with a duel. Perhaps you're riding down a forest path and there are some black-cloaked gentlemen standing in the middle of the road, crossbows in hand, and they'd like a word with you about donating to their cause. If you know there's a fight coming, and the other side knows there's a fight coming, then there's no surprise round. At all. With that said, not everyone who wants to throw down is courteous enough to give you a warning. If you're sneaking through a goblin warren and you don't see the 3 sharp-toothed sentries, then they'll get a surprise round when they attack you. If you're in a crowded tavern, you don't see an enforcer sneaking up behind you, or you see him but you have no idea that he's got mischief on his mind, then he gets a surprise round when he attacks you. In short, if you can use the word ambush to describe this incident, there's probably a surprise round involved. When a surprise round happens, there's a simple formula to follow. First, establish who knows combat is starting and who doesn't. In the goblin example, the sharp-tooths would make a stealth check, party would make a perception check. Anyone in the party who spots the goblins is considered in on the surprise round. Anyone who doesn't spot them isn't. Once you know who's in, all of you roll initiative. You go through a single round of combat, but the caveat is you only get to take a single move action or a single standard action. Free actions are, as always, free. Once that round is over, first normal round of combat happens. So what's the big deal about a surprise round? Sure, someone else gets to take a free shot at ringing your bell, but so what? You want to be an adventurer, then you gotta be tough, right? Let me ask you this, though. What are you gonna do if that archer puts one through your throat? Or that guy who has the drop on you wants to set the tone with enchantment or necromancy? I've been on the receiving end of a few of those, and let me tell you, that one standard action from your enemy might finish the fight before it really gets started. See, the reason a surprise round is so important is that if you're not acting, then you're flat-footed until you get a turn. So you lose your dex modifier to your armor class, and you can't make attacks of opportunity. That means if someone's aiming a spell at you, you're pretty much a sitting duck if all it has to do is touch you, and you don't have any force effects or deflection modifiers to save your skin. Just to add insult to injury, if you're flat-footed, that also makes you a prime target for sneak attack damage. And if you're flat-footed for the surprise round, and for most of the regular round that comes after, there's a good chance you're going to need a bit of divine intervention if you want to stay on your feet. Now that you've got a pretty clear picture, you're probably asking yourself how you can come out on the other side of the surprise round in one piece. Well, you've got a few options. Your first option is to invest in a class that always gets to act during the surprise round. Diviners are probably the most common choice for the magically inclined, but you could get the same results with a throne warden or a fearsome defender in a pinch. But what if you don't necessarily want to act during the surprise round? You just want to negate the problems of getting caught flat-footed. Well, if that's the case, you need uncanny dodge. Uncanny dodge means you can never be caught flat-footed. You won't get to act during the surprise round, but you're not denied your dex bonus to your armor class, and you can do things like take attacks of opportunity as normal. Hell, that last one might catch your ambushers off guard if they rush in only to get a long spear in their guts. You want this ability, though, you're gonna have to pay for it. You'll need 2 levels as a barbarian or blood rager, or 4 levels as a rogue. There are archetypes that grant you this ability, like the Traceless Operative for Inquisitors, and prestige classes like the Assassin or the Shadow Dancer, but it's often harder to go that route if it wasn't in your plan all along. Well, that's all from me this time around. Just remember, whoever throws the first punch is often the one who steers the course of the fight. In other words, better to give than to receive when it comes to ambushes. If you enjoyed my little talk, like the video and share it around. If you're not a follower already, click subscribe to get all of our updates. If you want to follow us on Facebook or check out our Patreon, details are in the description below. Until next time, remember to keep an eye out.